Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to be replacing this fan with a newer fan. Alright, first thing you want to do, make sure your power supply is turned off to the light as well as the fan itself. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come up under here. We're going to take these globes off too with the light bulbs in it because it makes it a little easier to handle it without damaging the the bulbs and breaking anything. Alright, so we're just going to take these out. These particular ones just pull right off, just like that. We're going to take all four of these out of the way so we don't have any broken parts. Now obviously yours may be a little bit different, but the globes usually come off one way or another. Whether they pull off or they screw on, or with maybe a little cap over the top of it. Okay, next thing we're going to do now is we're going to come up on top here and pull this beauty ring down, and we're going to loosen up these screws right here. We're going to take out 2 of the 4 screws and we're going to loosen the other 2. So we're going to loosen this one up here. Looks like somebody left one screw out already. We're just going to loosen this up. And now we'll rotate this and pull it down so that we can see where we're going to be working right up in here. Okay? Now we're going to disconnect our wiring, which is all up inside here. It's disconnected. And now that we have it all disconnected, we're just going to move our wires out of the way and we'll take the whole fan assembly down and out. Now let me show you how this fan is held in there. Okay, so we disconnected our white wire from our white wire, our black wire from our black wire, our red wire from our blue wire, and we disconnected our green, and the green. This will really be a green. It's a ground wire here as well. And now what we're going to do, if you look up underneath here, you see that white ball right there? We're going to lift this piece up and lift it out, and the whole fan will come out. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to lift it up and lift it out. Just like that, and it comes right down. I'm going to put this off to the side for now. Okay, I'm going to bring you in here closer. Okay, now you see this bracket right here? We're going to disconnect that bracket. We're going to take out that screw and that screw, and we're going to take this bracket off. We're going to use this existing box right here to mount our new fan assembly on. All right, so we're going to take out that screw and that screw, and we'll take this piece down, and then we're going to take our new fan and put it up. And here is the new fan that we're going to be putting up. This is the bracket that we're going to be mounting up on the ceiling, and these are all the components here. We did check it against the list over here to make sure everything was there. Okay. All right, first thing we're going to do now is let's bring our bracket up there, and we're going to put this bracket in. So here we go. We're going to take out our Phillips head screws. Okay, now we're going to take our wires and pull our wires through the box just like this. Okay. And now we'll take this and we'll put this off to the side because we no longer have a use for this. This is from the old fan. We're going to take our new one and we're going to do the exact same thing. Push these wires through the opening, just like that. Okay. And now the next thing we'll do is we're going to mount this back up here. Let me just take the other screw out right here. Don't lose these because we're going to need to use these over again, of course. Okay, like that. And we're going to catch the one in here. I'm not going to screw it in tight yet. We're just going to catch it. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on this side over here too. We're just going to catch it in there. And we'll snug it up. You want to tighten everything up evenly. Okay, nice and tight. Okay, then we're going to take our wires now. We're going to put them off to the side just like that. This. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now, let's get our fan assembly and let's hang it up there. Okay, the next thing we want to do now is we're going to reconnect our wires up in here. But what we can do now is we take our fan and we're going to put this up into here. Okay, now it's just going to sit up here temporarily. And then we'll do our wiring. And all of our wiring is going to, you know, I'm going to bring you over on this side so you can watch what I'm doing on the wiring. Okay. I hope you can see that. Now we have our bag that has our wire nuts in it. We are going to use the new wire nuts that came with it, just so you know. And open up the bag. Take everything out of the bag. Okay, now this bag has got 2 wood screws like this. Now if those 2 bolts that we put up in the box there weren't long enough, we would be using these. But being that they are screwing into a nice firm box, we're just going to put these off to the side for now. We don't need them. But we are going to use our new wire nuts. And we also have in that same box 2 screws and 2 washers as well, which we're going to come back to these in just a minute. Right now, let's wire it in. Okay, now remember, we're going to do first, let's do our black wire first. Black wire, we just take this off, this wire cap, take this one here, put it around it, like this. And we're just going to tighten it up like that. Take our wire nut, a new wire nut, and screw it on like this. Screw it down tight as you can make it by hand. Make sure that the wires are in. Grab the wire and give it a pull to make sure it's in there nice and tight, which it is. So we're just going to leave that off to the side right now. We're going to take our other wires over here like this. We're going to connect our white wire with our white wire as well. Remember, we're going to take it, twist it around like this, and then we're going to take it and put it around the end, and we're going to go into clockwise position around it. Hold it with your 2 fingers right here. Make sure that the wires are close to the edge. Screw your cap over the top. Screw it down until it's tight. Give it a tug. Make sure your wires are in, which it is. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our red wire, take that cap off as well, throw that cap down. We're going to use a new cap, take our white wire, take our blue wire, twist it together, just like this. Take it, hold it with your fingers in the back here, and twist these 2 wires together, just like that. Like that. Screw our cap over the top. Okay, nice and tight. Again, give it a tug, make sure it's nice and tight. Last one we're going to do now is our ground wires, which are all of our green wires. We're going to wrap the two wires together, and then we're going to take the one that's up in the ceiling, which is that hard copper wire. Wrap that around like that. I'm going to take our wire nut. Okay, nice and tight. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install these two screws here. They go in the side of the box itself. You just catch them by hand first. You'll see it right over here. Keeps the motor from accidentally coming out. And now we screw those in. This way the motor can't accidentally be popped out or knocked out while you have it running or whatever. All right, just snug that in. Same thing on this one here. We just snug that one in too. Okay, and that keeps our motor intact now. It can't come out, okay? All right, so let's get our mounting bracket and we'll put it up underneath here. And we're going to stick these wires in out of the way right there. So let me put this down. Okay, we're just going to tuck these wires up and out of the way right here, just like that. So that way they don't interfere with anything. Okay. Same thing up here. We'll move in here. And that's that. Okay. Okay, let's get our cover. Put our other cover back on. Let me just explain to you what I was doing. You see this little tab right here? That little tab needs to go on the side over here. We lift it up and then we rotate it till it locks in right there. Rotate it around and you'll feel it locks right in. And now we're going to take our screws, the 3-4 screws that come with it, and we're going to screw them in there to hold the cover on. So we're going to take our Phillips head screw and we're going to catch each one of them by only a couple of threads. We're not going to screw it in tight yet. All right. On the other side. Okay, now once you have all 4 of them caught, we can snug these bolts up. They don't have to be gorilla tight, just snug them in. Okay, same thing on the other side. Now that's nice and tight. Now we'll take our other assembly and we'll continue. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert these grommets into the fan blades themselves right through here. And what you do is just take the grommet, push it inside there, and you push it until it pops out the other side. And make sure it rotates around nice and evenly. And then we're going to continue on every one of them. Just push these. Until they come through the other side. And you could rotate them and they turn nice and evenly. Okay, now we're going to do that on all the other blades. And then once we have all of these in, we'll come back and we'll put them up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to secure the blades onto the bracket here that connects up to the motor. You just have to decide whether you want the lighter side or the darker side facing down. We take the blade, put it on here like this, take the screws that came with it, and we're going to put it on here. And we're going to put the screw through there just to catch in 1 or 2 threads, just like that. And then we'll catch the other 2 in here as well. And then once you have all 3 of them caught, then you can snug them down evenly. Okay, you tighten them up until they're tight. These particular bolts, you cannot over tighten them. You can see that the bolt itself, it has threads only partially down. Okay, so now we're going to make sure that these are tight. And once they're tight, we're going to continue with the other ones and put them together as well. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to catch our blades up in here. We're just going to put the screws in there loosely. We're not going to tighten them up yet. We're just going to catch one, and then we're going to come around and we're going to catch our second screw. Okay. We're just going to catch them loosely. We're not going to tighten anything yet. Okay. So we still have a little slack, and let's grab the other blades and put the other 4 blades on. Okay, now once you have all 5 blades caught, you can tighten them up. Okay, so now our blades are all on nice and tight. Let's get our light assembly and put that up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cover like this, and we're going to attach it up here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the wiring down, we're going to take our rubber band that secures it in place off. Okay, we're going to just pull that down a little bit like that. We're going to take 2 of the 3 screws and we're going to catch them in these holes. We're not going to screw them in tight, we're just going to catch them very loosely. Okay, now once we have those caught, now we can take the slotted part right there. You see the slots right here? We're going to take those slotted ones right there, and we're going to slide them over those two screws, and then we'll put our last screw in right through there. So we're going to feed the wire through, put it over here, turn it. I'll bring you in here so you can see. Let me catch this one in here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, see what I mean? You catch two of these slotted ones here and here, and then you get the last third one in right there to secure it. All right, so let's screw these up now. You want to screw them evenly so it goes up nice and straight. Now that we're up there, we can snug these in place. You don't have to go real tight, just snugging them in place. Okay, let's get our light assembly and connect it up there. Okay, next thing we're going to do now is these screws that go in here. Let me bring it in, I'll show you. See, these are slotted here also. A slot right here. We're going to catch two of these, this one and this one, up on that fixture there. And the third one is a regular screw that goes in just like that. All right, so let me get two of these in there and we'll catch this up there. Now before you do anything, you're going to catch these screws. We're going to rotate the fan just a little bit. Be careful, you don't want to lose them. Now it's personal preference where you want to put the pull string. Okay, what I chose to do is to put the pull string out this side right over here, just like this, okay? So that way it's sticking out this way here. Now, the last thing we're going to do is going to take our plug here and our plug here, and we're going to join them together, just like that, till it snaps, just like that. And we'll take this, bring it up here, put it on those two that you caught already, and then you rotate it slightly, and then we're going to put a third screw in on the side right over here. So we're going to lift it up just a little bit so we have a clean shot at getting that screw in. Snug the screws in. Again, you don't have to make them real tight, you're just going to snug them in, that's all. And you can rotate your blade so you can get in there a little bit better with your screwdriver. Okay, we'll tighten up our third screw in the back right here, just like that. Okay, that's nice and tight. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our light bulbs in. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to feed this chain right through this hole here, and that's our fan control speed. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our cover up like this. You want to center it. Then you take that little plastic keeper that came with it, put it over the top like this, and push it all the way up like that. As far as it goes, it'll hold the globe in place. Then we're going to take our decorative trim that came with it like this, and we're going to thread right through here. We're going to put the pull cable for the fan control speed. Feed it through there. The other one comes through the middle just like this, and now we screw our cap on here, just like that. Snug it down. Make sure the chain pulls freely. It it does. Let's turn our light switch on, turn the fan control on, and let's make sure it works. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put these little handles on. These are the two little extension pieces. We just hook them on here, pull it in. That. Next one we're going to put on here. And that's it, our fan is done. So as you can see, installing a fan is really not that difficult. Just make sure you do your wiring exactly right. If you're not sure how to wire it, have an electrician take a look at it for you. But if you follow my advice, you really would not have any problems. All right, this job is done and we're on to the next one. Let's test it, turn it on, and make sure it works perfectly, and then we're on to the next project. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.